everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and this is my mom, Ingrid Turner.
Hi.
Hi. Today we are starting our seedlings for our veggie garden. Now, this is how to start your seedlings for your veggie or herb garden. We don't have any fruit today. We have fruit trees and things, but we're not doing that. We have bushes. We're doing some sunflowers, tomatoes, parsley, broccoli, turnip, and beets. Now, we have lots of beans and other things to do as well. However, we're going to do that in another video because those seeds need to soak overnight.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to get these, and some dill seeds. We're going to use some of this Schultz potting soil. You can use whatever kind you want. This just happens to be what I got at my store the day I went to get potting soil. Now, Mom is going to tell you what we're going to do next.
Well, you know how at the end of the season you throw out your annual plants and they're in pots and planters and things like that. Well, I always save the soil because it's still good soil, and
never throw out your soil.
It's a good mix, obviously, because you buy them like that and they're a good mix. Yes, anyway, so what I do is I mix it partly, probably 1/3 or maybe half and half of potting soil to the half of the stuff from the plants that we use. Yeah.
So we're just using a big bucket today, and that's what Mom's talking about. This is the leftover stuff from the plants that you already
I just take the stuff off the top that's nice and soft, and I'm going to save the stuff at the bottom of the plant. You'll see what looks good.
Or from any plants that died in your house over the winter. You always have that extra soil. Don't ever throw it out.
No.
It's perfect. It's good.
Yeah, if you don't want to do this mixing thing, at least throw that soil into your garden.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you want me to dump some in here for you?
Yes. Okay. I put it down on the chair because I thought it'd be easier to reach.
I just wanted to show them what was going down in here.
We have these handy little trays.
They're very inexpensive.
Yes.
That looks good.
That looks good. And
that's half and half.
I have this little hooky thing. It's great for mixing soil.
I got you. That's a hint.
Actually, if you turn it on its side a little bit, it's easier to do.
I don't know if I should do that because it's kind of messy, and I just cleaned the floors.
I know.
So I'm not doing that right now. I'd rather use my hands. It's okay. That's what you're supposed to do when you garden. You're supposed to use your hands.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to use my hands.
I think that looks good.
Okay, so we're going to fill this, what, halfway? Or
About
3/4?
Halfway is good. We'll see how that looks. You'll see there are even little pieces of leaves, so that's okay. That's all good stuff. It's all organic.
Organic. There's leaves. There's a little bit of roots here and things, all different sizes and varieties. And you have that perlite from the potting soil. Yeah.
See, there's lots of perlite in there, and that's what you want because it loosens the soil, keeps it nice and fluffy, so that your seedlings can root easier.
Now I'm just lightly, just patting it down a little bit so that the soil has some kind of substance.
Yes.
And then you can make holes and put your little seeds in. So that's that. And it's nice and dry. So, well, the potting soil was a little bit moist, so that's perfect.
Yes, and it does come moist, and that's great because you need a little bit of moisture. In fact, if you have a little spray gun, we might even do that. Just spray a little bit of water on there to so it holds the seeds better.
Speaking of, let me go get that. Now, I like to go old school, even though they say not to use gloves all the time when you're using soil. I don't really subscribe to that all the time because there are the HSOs that you really need to get, I think, anyway, or homeostatic soil organisms that are really important, you know, for your health and stuff. It's important to get out there and get dirty and play around in nature.
Yeah. If you're not sure where your soil has come from, you should wear gloves. But if you're buying a big thing of potting soil, chances are that you're not going to get bad stuff in it.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Anyway,
okay,
let's do this.
So
now what?
Let's give it a little squirt.
Are we going to separate this, or are we going to, like, are you going to... So you know what part's what?
Yes.
You probably want to do that before you plant so that you remember what and where you did it. Now I just covered it with just plain water. I have a little spritzer. We use spritzers for all kinds of things around the house. Some have lemon juice, some have vinegar, some have water in them. This one's water.
This is just to keep your rows straight. In fact, you can just put it in the middle because you can tell where it's going to go. And then as I use the as we planted.
You want to leave this in here?
For now, yeah.
Okay, you want me to make another
yes. I always cut my packages of seeds from the bottom, because that way you can put them on a stick and it's facing upwards and you can actually read it.
I like that.
If you take the top off, you got them upside down.
You're right.
Just a little thing that bothers me.
I like that idea. That's good. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Now, eventually this stuff is... Yeah.
So I'm just separating it into about a third.
Yeah, 3
That's
rows,
about enough
3
to make
yeah.
whatever you want, okay?
Yeah. We
See?
can, yes.
Okay.
We
now I'm
can
going to take it out just so that you can actually get at it.
Right.
But then you'll be able to know what's what. And you can even write on it so you know what's going down.
And in fact, you can probably cut them down a little bit.
Sure.
Even in half.
Would you like me to do that?
And then, you see, I have these things. Now, my vision isn't the greatest, so for me to write a label on this is not functional. So I stick this thing like that, and then I have a little label, and it's on a stick.
I like it.
We won't get all the seeds mixed up, and we don't know what plants we have coming up. To make a little furrow. I'm just going to use the end of this. Just make a little furrow down here. We could probably use that thing for a matter of fact.
Want me to do that?
Just right down the middle of here. Yeah, that looks like a great idea.
So just use the same thing you did. A lot of these seeds, they need to go down at least, half an inch. Some are an inch, some are longer. I guess they might be in centimeters wherever you are. But just check the back of your package. It'll always tell you what the guidelines are for that particular plant.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have rows. We have rows for the separators, and we have rows for where we're actually going to plant inside.
Also, once you see the seedling coming up, you see a little bit of green, and by the time it gets about ½ an inch high, you could add a little more soil around and watch your plant. So when they get about this high, you should be coming up to about 7/8 of the way with soil.
So as you're going, you want to save some soil.
Yeah, but don't cover the greens up. Like if you have a little green thing coming up, you don't put the soil on top of that. You just
around it?
Yeah, shore it up.
Okay.
So we're going to do the parsley, we're going to do the dill, and I think we're going to do the sunflower seeds.
Awesome. I love sunflower seeds.
I just get such joy out of watching those sunflower seed plants grow.
Now, pretty much whatever we plant is food-based.
Yes.
Either it's a flower that is edible that you can also eat, or nasturtiums or pansies, other flowers and things that you can eat, like hollyhocks and other herbs.
Okay, so next I think we'll go with the sunflower seeds.
Okay. Now they have to be separated by how much? An inch or so at least, I would say?
Yeah, just
seed spacing. 6 inches it says.
Yeah, that's if you're doing it in the garden.
Exactly, but we're just doing seedlings.
We're just starting the plants. So you see, once they come through and we know that they have a really good root system, we'll take them out of this, and if it's close to the 24th of May, we'll plant them out into the garden. If it's not, we'll just put them into, look at this, something about like that, so that each one gets its
individual
own little
attention.
house. Yes.
And doesn't tangle its root system.
Right. And then once we get to the 24th of May, out they go into the garden.
Now right now I'm separating them by about an inch.
There are so many kinds of sunflowers. Sunflowers, you wouldn't believe. They have them from lemon yellow to orange to red.
Crimson.
Yes. They were so pretty, the crimson ones,
and
the Russian
even brownish looking ones.
Beautiful. They really are a beautiful plant. And the birds, they just love them. I mean, even if we don't use the sunflowers for food.
The seeds, we don't really. Well, they're just pretty.
I love to see them in my garden. It just makes me happy when I see a few sunflowers growing in my vegetable garden.
And not only that, they're such different sizes.
Yeah.
And shapes of them. Also, remember when we lived in Iowa, I grew that mammoth sunflower. It went up to my second story windows.
Was that
it was
a Russian one?
No, it was just called a mammoth sunflower. It was mammoth. And the size of the head was like this. The flower was like that. It was amazing.
I love that. And the bees, they just come right around to your garden, and that's what you want. Lots of bees near your garden. They cross-pollinate everything. It's nature is fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's our second row. So she's just weaving it through the back of the package so that it doesn't come off.
This is what I do. We're not going to put them in right now because we can pretty well remember where things are. But
you can.
Yeah.
You can just leave it there so it's
I
ready.
just don't want to bump it.
There you go.
Yeah. So by the time we're done, we'll have probably three
So we're going to save this for after we're done all of these.
Yeah.
And then we'll put them in so we know.
This goes easier when you have two people doing it.
Yes, ma'am. That's why we do it this way. There we go.
Okay, we're gonna squirt these.
We're gonna squirt these again. So get your sign ready, and we're gonna stick them in here. You just want to moisten the soil. You don't want to soak it.
Turn it there.
If you soak the soil, you have a chance of everything rotting in here. You know, molding. You don't want that. So we're gonna stick these guys in, so we know what's up.
Beautiful, honey.
Okay, so we have a couple more that we're gonna do, but we don't need to show you all of this. It's all the same thing, rinse and repeat. That's our dill. We need to make a sign up. Now, you want to make sure that you're not overwatering. When the soil feels slightly dry is when you want to squirt this bad boy again. Okay, so we're gonna repeat with some other plants here.
And I would not put a lot of fertilizer on anything until your seedlings have come up at least an inch. Then you could do a very diluted mixture of Miracle-Gro and water, like more than what they say you should use. I would do it half and half because you don't want to attack those little seedlings. They're very tender and they're very pernickety. They just might fall over and die.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't give them too much fertilizer till they're much bigger.
Okay, we're gonna repeat this with another couple more trays and a couple more things, and then we're gonna talk to you about what we're gonna do with them now. Off to the side. Yes. Now what? Now we have an area that's nice and sunny. It gets most of the morning and some of the afternoon, and that's where it's gonna go. We're not actually gonna put the lid on. We would have put the lids on. We have these clear lids like these if we were doing it in the dead of winter.
Yes.
You don't want them to get too cold. It's achieving the same thing as a greenhouse. So the key here is to be organized. Make sure you have them separated and identified so you know what's going down. That's really, it's not hard.
And try things that you would have never tried before because this is a chance to do that. And if it doesn't work for you the first time, big deal. You still have time.
You lost out on 79 cents.
Yeah.
No big deal, right?
Try it. At least try it, but you know, you have to be diligent. You must keep them moist. You can't just let them dry out for a week and then think, oh gosh, these are no good.
But don't overwater either. If you start to see mold starting on the top,
that's too much.
It's a problem. It's a big problem. You're gonna have root rot and everything's just gonna die on you. You're gonna be upset. Anyhow, that's it. That's all. That's how you start your seedlings for your veggie or herb garden. And we'll probably show you a whole separate video on how to do beans because beans are done differently.
Yes.
We like to plant lots of beans. So make sure you check out that video, how to start your beans like for your garden.
And there again, we have so many varieties.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
It's going to be probably
exciting.
One whole show for beans.
Exciting. Anyhow, that's it. That's all. Make sure you check out Mom's website at ingridturnertoday.com. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim, E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly and youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. That's it. That's all. Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye. Get outside this summer. Get outside.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes, ma'am.